What's up, guys? Another video. So in this video, this is a guy who's been ugly his whole life, and he's talking about his experiences. It's pretty interesting. We're gonna check this out. Before we get started, don't forget to like and subscribe. If you don't, then the algorithm won't recommend my videos when I drop new stuff. So go ahead and like and subscribe now. Appreciate it. Let's get right into it.
I've been drinking a lot of this right now, so I'm sort of drunk and I'm feeling really down, like extremely down. And I will tell you why. It's 'cause my entire life I've been treated quite bad. I should also say, like, this is a warning, my English is not that good, and like, I'm just I feel really alone, and I felt like I was gonna search YouTube for people with the same issue as me, and that is being really unattractive. And I've been having lots of issues with that because every video I come across is with a really attractive or normal person, and they have no idea how how it really is. So first of all, right now I'm putting up quite of a show. So if you think that I look pretty good right now, it's because I'm doing my absolute best to show you that I look good. It's also the cam. So first of all, my teeth are fucked up and I'm pushing forward my jaw all the time.
Before we continue the video, the first little thought that I have about this is, yes, in the world that we live in, there's a lot of unfair advantages that other people have, and really, if you think about it, a significant part of our life and the trajectory of our life and the quality of our life is dictated by things we cannot control. There's some people born very short, people born blind, people born with AIDS, people born with schizophrenia, people are born with gender dysphoria, where they feel like they're a girl when they're a boy, they feel like they're a boy when they're actually a girl, and they have significantly suffering lives. So yes, he is right, and this example of this is the ultimate reason why externalized things that are not inside of you and how you feel and how you think should not define you, because if you're not lucky, there's a large part of life, even if you were lucky to be born looking good, where something's going to be disproportionate to your advantage, and you're going to have to learn to live without it. Now, one thing I notice universally is when people have significant challenges in life, those challenges tend to humble them, and they tend to have to rely on more objective truths about who we are as human beings. Somebody who looks very good, is very easy to run around and be cocky and think that you're confident. But I would argue real quick that a lot of people that you see as confident are confident for specific reasons. They're not necessarily who they actually are. You might see the jock who has muscles, who's tall, who's good looking, who's always confident. Well, he has lots of reasons to be confident. He's good looking, he's tall, he has muscles. That's why he's confident. Take that same person and remove all those advantages, make him 5'2", ugly, with a speech impediment, and let's see if he's still confident. So a lot of our confidence are based off external things that we didn't actually earn. And so hearing him talk is really, really important for people to understand that that's why you must develop yourself beyond externalized things, or beyond what other people think of you, beyond how you look, beyond all those type of things. And I think that's interesting. But let's hear what Maury got to say.
I have extremely much loose skin. This is nothing I can do anything about. I've been checking this a lot. I have so much loose skin, it makes me look terrible. I got pretty bad posture. I have a really big bulky nose. Is a lot bigger than my higher lip. Like my higher lip is normal, the rest is not. And my eyebrows, everything is like, I do not look good. I've never in my entire life had anyone telling me I look good. If I look from this side, like this, push forward my jaw, maybe on cam I look a little bit better, but people in person, they see my nose, they see my lips, they see my tooth, they see everything, they see this, they see that I'm not looking that good. I get so much critic, and I'm gonna tell you the story of my life, how to say it, of how I've had it. And also I should tell you, I may look quite bad, but there are people that have it hundreds times worse.
I'm glad he's able to realize that he's actually showing that he's extremely emotionally healthy and extremely self-aware. I'll tell you one thing about life, and one of those things is challenges force you to look at the truth and dig down to the core of who you really are. And if I would actually pity a lot of people who actually got lucky in life and never had an opportunity to be brought to their knees. Because if you want to know what you're really made of, if you want to know what's possible for you, a lot of times where you're going to figure it out, a lot of times is in failure, in moments of weakness, in depression. That point, and especially when you get to rock bottom, when you're forced to look at yourself and say, okay, I don't want to live, or this is unfair, the cards I was dealt, and you're forced to ask yourself simple one question: do I want to continue to live? And if yes, then how do I move forward, and what should I make of my life? But sometimes you don't have to think about that. Things just work. You're born in a good family, you look good, you get the girl or you get the guy, you get married, and everything just kicks off, and you just float through life doing what's next, doing what everybody else doing. And a lot of times even people like that don't get away with it, because eventually they have midlife crises where they're questioning all these things they did. They find out that they're not fulfilled. They find out that they're doing things that have no meaning. So really, at its core, we're all dealt cards. Some of them are worse than others, but we all have to make the same decision, which is, I have a set of cards. What am I going to do with what I have to work with? How am I going to move forward? What do I value? So if you're put in a situation like this where you don't look the part, you have to find something else that is valuable to you and be great at that. So I may not be the guy who's going to get the girl, but I have a great mind. I have a great heart, and I can use that mind and heart to change the world or help move the world forward. And people can love you and admire you for that. So I would say to him that if this is hurting you, do your best to look good, but also develop other areas of your character that'll basically counteract your looks. Now, if your central worry is about a female, I would say even today you're lucky that you were a male and not a female, because much more female looks decide the trajectory of their life and the quality of their life and the opportunities that they receive much more than males. Because there's a lot of females, especially if you become successful, that would still date you, that would still mate with you, long as you believe in yourself. And the way you believe in yourself is stop judging your value based on your looks. It matters, but you have to find something else that matters more. Your, like I said, your personality, your mind, and start working on that. That way you can have great respect and great admiration for the things that you're going after and who you're going to be. So that would be kind of like my pushback for some of the things he's saying. But I do acknowledge what he's saying, and he's 100% right by feeling that way if he does.
Let me start off by telling you the story of how I started getting called ugly. So I was around 13 when I got my first serious friends. I was 13, 12 to 13, and they were like 16 to 18 beautiful alpha males, and like they were the first ones to start calling me ugly. And that was quite a shady neighborhood, so it's like they were with me because my mom gave them cigarettes and stuff, so they were like my guardians sort of. And they were the first people to call me ugly. I ended up in school. I remember first time I was never like caring about girls. Girls were like meh. Because I remember being young, they chased around the other guys at the schoolyard, and they were like pretending like the girls were trying to kiss the boys, and the guys were like ew. And I remember how they all chased each other, and no one chased me, so I was just standing there being like, what the fuck? I guess there's something wrong with me. I was like the only one at that time that was like, oh, I sort of wish a girl would chase me. But that didn't happen. When I was 15, I started liking girls, like being interested in girls. God, this is so difficult. This is so difficult making. When I was 15, I realized that I wanted to have love in my life. I was 15 years when I realized I wanted that. The amount of people that rejected me is astonishing. I remember I was 15, I went to school, I was socially inactive, I was I was a bit overweight. That's where all this comes from, because I was a little bit on the overweight side. So I was a bit heavier, not much heavier, but I was heavier.
I want to say something that's extremely telling about this guy. I don't know how true that number is, but I don't know if he realizes the average guy does not even try to talk to over 500 girls. And he said he did this when he was 15. If he really was driven like that to talk to that many girls, he already is identifying a potential strength that he has. Because when I was 15, even friends I have, they didn't talk to 500 girls. There's people who are 35, 40-year-old men who didn't try to talk to 500 girls. I mean, literally talk to them to get in a relationship with them. So I don't know if he's talking about just speaking to them or actively pursuing them, because pursuing over 500 girls, especially from age 15 to whatever age it is right now, and you don't seem to be that old, is abnormally a lot. And so that tells me that maybe some deep insecurity was driving him to do that. But that also tells me that he had the drive, that he had to know. And that same drive that he have to get the girls can be used to develop himself in other areas. And I think that this is the lesson, everybody who's watching, that I don't believe he should stop. I believe that he will find a girl that finds him attractive, and he will be successful if he keep trying. But I think that the key here is to remove the hyper focus nature of him on how he looks. I know it's very difficult and super hard, especially when you're in your formative years and you think that it's all that matters. I remember when I was between the ages of 15 to 18, the only thing that mattered on the planet was me getting laid. I had to get laid, right? You don't want to be on the V team. Nobody wants to be on the V team. So I understand that. But at the end of the day, if he keeps persisting and find other areas to develop, I think that's the key to combating some of these insecurities when it comes to the way he looks. But very interesting story.
Gone for the normal attractive girls. I knew from the start, like, they are not for me. They set these standards that are so high. They want attractive guys that are smart and funny and everything. And I wrote with girls that were overweight, that didn't look so good. Some of them had a big nose like me, some had big lips. Some had shorter hair. I even wrote about, I think it was like three girls that were handicapped. No, this time I was between 15 to 17 years, so I was quite young. Some of them were straight up honest with it and said that you're not my type or you're ugly. That's like, if someone says you're not my type, that's the nicest way someone can say that you're ugly. So always heard, you're not my type. When I gave up, I started to care more about writing with people who had it difficult, who were sad, who didn't have it easy. That's when I first met the first girl in my life that wanted to be with me. And I spent 7 years with that girl, and I regret it very much.
Didn't expect them to say that.
Treated me so badly and was just using me. She called me ugly. She forced me to walk 5 to 10 meters behind her. She'd never hold my hand. She never kissed me. She never did anything to show appreciation of me. It was not a good relationship. She never cared about me. She was always angry, aggressive. And for the first half year, she didn't really want to be in an actual relationship with me. She just wanted to be with me. We had sex and we had fun, I guess, sorta. Except when we went outside when I was forced to go behind her. She was cheating on me. She was flirting with other guys online.
It's unfortunate because basically, I don't know how that happened, but this girl obviously had her own personal demons and she decided to use this guy. The only thing I could tell you is, based on what I'm hearing so far in this story, is that you have to realize that nobody else cares about your problems or your challenges. And so when you internalize issues that you have, like believing that you're ugly, you may think that you're hiding them, but they always come out in other ways. And a lot of times one of your biggest problems is your belief. You have accepted and your belief that you're ugly. Now, if the reality is that you're not attractive to society's standpoint and you don't think it's in your best interest trying to convince yourself otherwise, then you need to find other things that you value about being a human being. Being a human being is much more than your physical outlook. It's much more than your physical appearance. What makes you a human being is that voice in your head every day, that thought, that emotion that you have, that feeling about yourself, that feeling that you have about what you want to do in the future. That's who you really are. And so the truth is, you have to get in touch with that. And the only way, or the best way to get in touch with that, is find something that you want to dedicate your life to, a goal, a mission. And most of your energy and your outlook and what you spend your energy doing should be on that. And on that mission, you will find people who are like, somebody will see you. With that said, I don't believe in giving up. If you truly believe you want love, you should continue to look. I'm not telling you to go on a mission and forget about love. I don't agree with that, because I think foundationally love is something every human being needs. And as a man, you desire a woman, he may desire a family. So I think he should continue to pursue that. Now, as far as this young lady who used him, this woman probably is deeply, or young lady is probably deeply disturbed herself. She probably had some trauma where she felt like she needed to do that to that person, especially at such a young age. And obviously him hearing these things at such a young age, he internalized them and he believed them. So it's very unfortunate, but it sounds like he has some fight in him. I mean, approaching 500 women, there's guys who are considered attractive that never even been with a woman before, never even been in a relationship before. So you're ahead of the curve in more ways than you even think. There's cats who never even dated somebody at 15 or 17. Now, with that said, it may be better off that he didn't date that girl, because that girl kind of probably caused even more damage for him.
I bought her presents when I had money. I spent my time with her. I altered my personality for her so she wouldn't feel that it was weird. I tried my best to be the perfect I could, and she always told me, "You're not enough," or like, "You're not good enough," or things like that. She always told me that. And this is how it was for about 3 years, or 4 years. Then I moved, and she didn't move with me. She was like, "It's not worth it. If you move, it's over." So I moved, it was over. And then she started calling me and being like, "You should take me back because you are unlovable." I remember those words so clearly. "You are unlovable." That's the worst thing I ever felt. And I was like, screw this. Nope. And I was alone in a cabin in the middle of nowhere in the woods.
First of all, like I said, this dude is showing a lot of good signs for upside. He didn't take her back. What she was really telling herself is that she's unlovable. Any person who would be willing to tell somebody else that, unless they have a real reason to do it, like this person is a horrible person who's done horrible things to you, and you tell them that, I understand that. But if this person told him that, she was really telling herself that she's unlovable. That's my opinion. A little psychoanalyst bullshit that I'm throwing in there. But very, very, very good that this dude was able to tell her no. That means that he has a sense of self-worth, and he knows what she's doing is fundamentally wrong. So
I lived in that cabin, and I started writing with new people in my area, which was really not many. I had to like take the closest town. It was an hour away, but like I managed to find a girl there. And by that time, I met her. We were just friends. It was chill. She was actually a terrible human being. She was like, she only cared about money, how people look. She wanted to have a guy that took care of her and all that. So I didn't really feel anything for her. We were just friends. But in the end, she was 17 and I was 20. So it was like sort of, so like, I remember I bought lots of alcohol to her, and she was like, "Keep some of this. We're gonna use this later." And so I kept some of it. And she then one time visited me in the woods. She spent her night with me. And we laughed, we drank, we had fun, and we had sex. And that's the first time I felt accepted I felt like I had hope in my life. I really felt like there is hope for me.
you know, a lot of this story is really a story of just any normal young man who's probably started late, that's getting laid. I mean, the dude already told me that he's been laid twice before he was 17 or 18. There's a lot of cats who considered attractive or had horrible upbringings that don't even start having sex till they're 21, who in society standards would look significantly better. And so you already been laid twice, dude. And a lot of the things that he's complaining about are just things that how women are, whether you're attractive or not. Women have unrealistic standards. They always want somebody that's higher than them. They want money. They want people to take care of them. These things that he's naming are not necessarily things that they're doing to you because you're unattractive. These are things that women in general do when they're young and they don't know better. So a lot of the things that you're complaining about that he may not be realizing that is the normal part of developing and getting older, he's attributing to how he looks. And I think this is one of the issues that he's probably facing. And it happens to a lot of us when we're young. When bad things happen to you, when trauma happens to you, you start to connect your trauma with every challenge that shows up in your life. And you think, if I wasn't ugly, if I didn't have this disability, if I didn't have this weakness, I would have been able to do this. I would have passed the class. I would have got the girl. I would have got the job. But the reason you didn't get the job or the girl had nothing to do with how you look, but you're connecting every challenge in life that you have to how you look because you have internalized that how you look matters that much.
There are people that will look past your appearance, and that's sort of right. There are people out there who will look past how you look and be with you even if you're unattractive. And it doesn't even matter to what degree of unattractive you are, because there will be girls that will not really care. The problem is finding them.
Okay, so we get the gist of the video. He's just letting you know that his internal struggles that he had his entire life based on how he looked. He gave us a couple examples of how women treat him horribly bad. As I said before, the lesson basically is you have to find a mission in life. You have to find something that'll fulfill you that's not another person. Now, I'm not saying you shouldn't seek relationships in your life, but they should not be the end all be all. Find a mission, something worth getting up out the bed every day, something that when you're 80 and you look back on it and you say, I do not regret my life, and spend most of your energy seeking that. And along the way, you'll find people to join the ride, whether it's a loved one, a great friend, or a great family member. So I'm going to leave it at that. This is the Invisible Hand Podcast Reacts, and I'm out. This has been the Invisible Hand Reacts podcast. As I said before, if you want to see a certain video that you think will be interesting, look in the links in the description and text me directly at my number and just text me the actual video clip and I'll consider it if it's a good clip to do next on this channel. Also, like and subscribe. Otherwise, people will not see my videos. A lot of people don't know. People don't search for videos on YouTube. What they do is they like and subscribe to a channel. Then YouTube's algorithm automatically push their videos to their recommendations. So please like and subscribe for my channel can grow. Also, if you can help me financially grow the channel, I'm trying to buy new equipment, hire new people, make the quality better, just shoot me a text. The link's in the description to the number that you can actually shoot me a text and just say, I want to support. I'll send a link back with different ways you can support the channel. Till next time, my friends, I'm out.